All right, baby boos, welcome to day 2. I hope you're enjoying the challenge thus far. Yesterday is probably going to be the bulk of the projects that you're going to have to do because I basically had you collect like 6 photos to have in your backlog. Don't freak out. This is a challenge again, but do what you're comfortable with. This is just to get you to kind of stretch those creative muscles and flex them. Instagram is not a natural response to the way humans walk around and exist in this world. Instagram is a muscle you have to use. It is social media in and of itself is a weird way to interact with people. So in order to get comfortable, you do have to challenge yourself in ways like this to get out of your comfort zone, to start thinking in a new, more abstract and artful way, and then get to connect with your community, which is exactly what I'm going to be teaching you guys today. So we are going to be talking about how your personal experiences can be both extremely vulnerable, but also incredibly universal. And in this, we're going to talk about how you can connect with your community and how you can find the courage to get that vulnerability out there. So I teach this to basically everyone. Being vulnerable is not easy. If you guys have seen my account, you've seen that I share my entire life on Instagram, and that's not something that people can just normally do. That's a muscle that has to be exercised. And I'll tell you this, it was not always easy. Sometimes I would like fake my way into being vulnerable and be like, oh yeah, well one time I did this in a way that still kind of made me look good, because I just wasn't ready to go all the way and to jump in the deep end. And that's okay because it's a process. But what I want to challenge you guys to do today is to think about your entire life in not in a vacuum, but in the construct. And I want you to break away little pieces that you think were very pivotal in your life that really shaped the way you are as a human. And I want you to think about those things and think about what the lesson was within each experience. And then I want you to think about what you can say about that experience to relate to your community and how comfortable you are with that. So it's really easy for us to look at our lives and see, things that have happened to us, but it's not so easy to remove ourselves enough to see how it shaped us, how it influenced our life positively, and there needs to be a lot of work done around that. And I have to be honest, this practice, once you start doing it, will allow you to see your life in a completely different light. It's so cathartic. It's extremely therapeutic, not only for you, but for the community that you're building. So essentially, what you're doing is you're taking your life, you're extracting an extremely personal experience, and then you're kind of philosophizing on it in order to relate it to your community. So I'll give you an example. Now this is one that I use all the time. I'm about tired of hearing it myself because to me it's happened so long ago, but it is such a pivotal part of my life. Now I had gone down the rabbit hole quite a bit as a child, consuming copious amounts of drugs, alcohol, running away from any kind of shame, any kind of personal development, and then after I was raped, finally into the arms of a heroin addict who ended up emotionally abusing me, mentally abusing me, stealing over $4,000 from me, moving me into an apartment that neither of us could afford, and then leaving. I mean, it was just awful. And it's really, I could just be sitting here in my office and saying, oh, fuck that guy. He was the worst, whatever. But instead, I challenged myself to look outside and be like, okay, what was the positive outcome of that? How did that experience shape my life? And how does it have to do with where I am right now? So I looked at it and I was like, well, if it weren't for him, I never would have gotten into therapy. I never would have grabbed my tarot deck that was collecting dust on my shelf that I had, experimented with since I was a child. I never would have started the blog, Witchy Wisdoms, that helped me journal about my experiences and my healing that eventually turned into an Instagram, and that eventually turned into this, where I have the ability to give you this challenge. If it weren't for that final rock bottom, I would not have had the ability to go upward. And so when I share that story with my community, these are the things that they experience. If they've been in a shitty relationship, which 9 times out of 10 they have, they say, I'm not alone. They also look at progress and they say, I can do this. And then they also look at how my perspective has shifted. And they see that if they do the work, they can get there. So that's so much value packed into one person sharing their story. I mean, really think about it. When was the last time you heard someone sharing something that was a really big piece of their heart? And not only did you gain empathy, but you also related. And it made you feel like you weren't alone in this big, sick, sad world, and that you had a person that was going through a similar instance that you could be like, you know what? It kind of makes me feel not only more human, but more grounded and able to do what I need to do. So that is what we're going to be talking about, or that's what we're going to be challenged to do today. We're going to be talking about personal experiences and getting them out there. Now, before I tell you what the assignment is, I want to give you guys a meditation that absolutely changed my world in terms of feeling comfortable enough to share and bare my soul. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about it first. I have worked with chakras and chakra balancing quite a bit, and blue, which is your throat chakra, is going to allow you to use your voice and exercise your voice. And then yellow in your belly is going to be your solar plexus, which gives you the confidence to use it. And that's what we're going to be focusing on in this meditation. So just really quickly, it's only going to be a minute or two. Just take a deep breath and close your eyes. So deep breath in and deep breath out. One more deep breath in. And out. Now I want you to imagine a soft blue light glowing right at your throat. Maybe it starts small and it just grows and grows until your whole throat is warm and relaxed and supported. And just imagine that blue light bringing a calming and respectful energy into your voice. And then travel down through your chest and into your belly. And imagine a soft yellow light growing right from your belly button, expanding big and wide over your entire core, warming you from your center, bringing fire, allowing you to get pumped up, making you feel confident. Now imagine the blue light and the yellow light meeting right at your heart, combining to make green and expanding over your chest, opening you up to vulnerability. Now breathe in and out. And open your eyes. All right. So hopefully you feel connected right in here. And now here's your assignment. I want you to, 1, brainstorm a timeline of experiences that you have learned from. That's the key, something you've learned from, not anything that you have a bunch of negative things to say, something you can positively frame, something you've learned from. Then I want, in your little Rolodex you created yesterday, or if you want to find a new one, I want you to find a photo that you can relate that experience to. Then I want you to draft a post with the intention of healing. So publish that by the end of the day with the hashtag content with intent and tag me, and I'll be featuring my favorites in my stories. You'll see how amazing the feedback you get is, but welcome to vulnerability, guys. I'll be seeing you tomorrow.